Hey yo, what is up? It is Chaos, and this is my first tutorial ever for Photoshop. I'm not the best at Photoshop, but I do know some tips and tricks, and I will be showing you today how to do this cool effect right here. It's kind of like a reflection, and there's this line here that has it fades off, and I'm going to show you how to do that too. So let's open up a new project here. File new, and I have this as my HD desktop background preset. It's 16 by 900 because that's my screen resolution. You can have your pixels per inch be higher than 72. Some people put this at like 300, and then you have crazy DPIs, and your resolution will be fantastic, but it is a larger file size. So as of right now, I set this to 72, and everything else should be the same. So let's open that up, and first thing is I'm going to name this as my background, and my background is going to be a gradient, and I have my gradient set up right now as a fade one to another color. That's what a gradient is. It's going from one color to another color, and my gradient is set up to do that in a spherical shape. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to choose my lighter color to be kind of like a darker charcoal kind of color, and my color that it will fade to is going to be straight up black. So I'm going to find the center here, and I know that my center on this is this line right here, this 11. I can use the ruler up at the top. 11 and one little line there. That is going to be my center on my x-axis, and then my center on my y is 2 after the 6. So all I'm really going to worry about right now is my center on the x. I don't really care what my center on the y is. And I'm just going to kind of do a little gradient like that. So now you have your gradient, and I'm going to create a new layer here, and this layer is going to be for the line, and I'm going to call it line, and I'm going to go to my line tool, and I want this line to be a lighter color, like a whitish kind of a color, off-white, and I want that to be directly at the center of my screen. So I can go, I'm going to make this about 2 inches long, so I'm going to go from the 10 up at the top to 1 past the 12, and make that sure that that is a straight line. And I did that by, you kind of can tell when you get the straight line. It has no lines going through it. It looks like a straight line. And then I'm going to let that go, and that's my shape. I'm going to rasterize the layer, and this line is fairly short, you can see, and we're going to do something about that. It's also blocked off. It's a straight edge and a straight edge, and what I showed you over here, it has this kind of like fade effect. So how you do that is you take your line layer and you go into Filter, Blur, and Motion Blur, and a 180 or a 0 degree angle, and I have this set to 376 pixels. We can make that an even 400, and it's basically the same thing. How long you want it, you can do it that way. So I'm gonna OK that, and then you have your nice wispy line there. And now we're gonna add our text, and our text is going to be right here. And I might make this a little bit bigger than, no, I'm gonna keep it the same size. So 150 is, oh geez, 150 is my font size that I have, and I'm gonna just bring that down to roughly where it's going to be, and I always capitalize my A more than everything else. So I'm going to make that 50 pixels higher. I don't know why, but I do. And that's basically what that layer is going to be. I'm just going to kind of center. I'm going to grab the top of this A because that's right in the center of my my word, and I'm going to center that with the center of the document, right at that 11 and 1 line. So now you know that that is centered, and it's somewhere above the center line on this mock center line, at least wispy line here. And then now we're going to go into our effects editor, and I'm going to add a stroke around the outside, and I'm going to make that color just a dark gray. I don't want it completely black. And I'm going to set that blend mode to overlay, so it's a little bit darker, but not it's not so dark that it's black. And I'm going to add a bevel and emboss, and I'm going to change the technique instead of smooth to chisel hard, and that adds that kind of chiseled look, kind of like it's out of granite or something. And the size, let's go 10 pixels maybe, and the angle is going to be 90 degrees, and the altitude is going to be 20 degrees. And that's about it for that. You can add a outer glow if you want to. I'm not going to, though, because I kind of like it like that. And now what we're going to do is we're going to add the reflection to this. So what you can do is you can right-click your text layer and go to duplicate layer, and sure. So now you have an exact layer copy right over the top of the layer, and you can go to edit, transform, and flip vertical. So now you have the exact same layer except flipped vertically, and you can bring that down then roughly to the same distance away from that line there, and it should be lined up, and it is. So one thing that you'll notice is that since we have all the same effects, it affected this the same way that it did up there, where the H and the C are exactly the same. This O is exactly the same with the bevel and emboss. If this was an actual reflection, you should see the dark edges at the bottom of the flipped image, well, the top of the flipped image, and then the bottom of the actual image. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to go into the layer, the copied layer, bevel and emboss, and turn off this use global light so that it doesn't change for both of these, because if we used global light, then if we change the top to what we want to, which is -90, it'll also change the original. So we can use global light. Use global light, make this 90, then change it for the bottom, which is going to be -90, and also 20 degrees. So now we have an exact copy of the top layer, just flipped vertically. And now what we could do is we can lower this opacity of this copy so that it isn't as sharp as the actual image, which would be like it is in real life, more realistic. So bring this down to, say, 30%, and now it has like this ghostly image of the original image. And that's about it, guys. If you like the tutorial, comment, rate, subscribe. There'll be more. So that's about it. Chaos out.